When superstars meet supercars, the results are wild, right? From diamond-encrusted hypercars to one-off builds for the Pope, here are the most jaw-dropping celebrity custom rides ever created, each more unexpected than the last. The first custom ride on our list wasn't made for red carpets or racetracks, but for divine appearances. One of the most recognized custom vehicles in history was made not for a Hollywood icon or sports legend, but for the Pope. We're talking about the Mercedes-Benz 230G Pope Mobile, famously used by Pope John Paul II after the 1981 assassination attempt. He needed something that wasn't just regal, but secure. So Mercedes took their rugged 230G off-roader, the precursor to the G-Wagon, and transformed it into one of the most iconic vehicles of all time. Gone was the standard roof. In its place, a massive bulletproof glass enclosure giving the Pope full visibility while protecting him from any threat. The entire structure was reinforced, the cabin raised, and a throne-like seat was mounted high so the pontiff could be seen from all angles. This wasn't just a car, it was a moving symbol of presence, power, and peace. Mercedes even equipped it with its own oxygen supply and bulletproof armor plating. It could crawl through packed city streets or cruise at highway speeds, all while keeping the Pope visible and safe. And the best part? Despite being armored, it still had that utilitarian G-Class DNA, capable of tackling rough terrain if needed, because yes, even the Pope might need a little off-road capability from time to time. Fun fact, the name Pope Mobile wasn't coined by the Vatican, but by the press, and it stuck. Over the years, the term's become synonymous with all the specially modified cars the Pope has used since. But this 230G version? It's the one that truly started it all. It now lives on display at the Mercedes-Benz Museum in Stuttgart. And even decades later, it remains one of the strangest, most unforgettable celebrity commissions of all time. When it comes to luxury, Jay-Z and Beyoncé don't follow trends, they set them. Between chart-topping albums, billion-dollar ventures, and red carpet dominance, they've built a lifestyle around exclusivity and intention. So when they wanted a car, it wasn't about speed or status, it was about storytelling. Enter the Rolls-Royce Boat Tail, a custom Grand Tourer widely believed to belong to the Carters, though Rolls-Royce never confirmed it. Still, the clues are hard to ignore. The bespoke blue paint reportedly nods to Beyoncé's favorite color. The chilled compartments, perfectly sized for Armand de Brignac champagne, Jay-Z's own brand. Estimated at $28 million, it's one of the most expensive new cars ever built. And it's not just about looks, the Boat Tail redefines what a car can be. The rear deck opens like butterfly wings into a hosting suite. Cocktail tables, stools, RR-engraved cutlery, and even a self-deploying parasol. It was designed to echo their elegant coastal getaways. Basically, it's a car made for spontaneous picnics. Inside, the details go further. The dashboard houses two custom Beauvais timepieces that can be detached and worn. Every inch, from the leather to the wood, was crafted to match their exact tastes. Only 3 boat tails exist, each entirely unique. But this one, with its nautical theme, personal flourishes, and music royalty connection, might be the most iconic of them all. Less a car, more a rolling tribute to craftsmanship, culture, and a relationship that keeps shaping the world. Before he was a peace icon, before Imagine topped charts, John Lennon was already breaking the mold. And not just with music. His approach to fame, fashion, and lifestyle was just as rebellious. And that extended to his garage. In 1965, at the height of Beatlemania, Lennon purchased a Rolls-Royce Phantom 5, the ultimate symbol of British establishment. At first, it came in a sober, all-black spec, exactly what you'd expect from high society. But 2 years later, Lennon did something no one saw coming. He sent it off to be completely repainted in swirling yellow, orange, and red floral patterns, inspired by Romany gypsy caravans and LSD-era art. The car was instantly controversial. British high society was outraged. There were reports of older citizens spitting on it. One woman allegedly hit it with her umbrella, yelling, "You swine, you've ruined a Rolls-Royce." But Lennon didn't care. This was his car, and it matched his new identity. Bold, unconventional, and loudly anti-establishment. He even installed a back seat that converted into a double bed, along with a TV, a refrigerator, record player, and external loudspeaker system. And yes, he actually used the loudspeakers to blast Beatles music in traffic. Underneath all the visual chaos, it was still a powerful 6.2-liter V8 Phantom V, a heavy luxury car built for kings and prime ministers. But in Lennon's hands, it became something else entirely. It wasn't just transportation, it was protest art on wheels. Today, the car lives in the Royal British Columbia Museum in Canada, and it's considered one of the most famous celebrity vehicles ever built. Not because of its price tag or rarity, but because it marked a moment where pop culture, politics, and design collided in the most unforgettable way. And speaking of bold statements, no one blends precision and personality quite like Lewis Hamilton. He's a 7-time Formula One world champion, fashion icon, and outspoken activist, and his car choices reflect every side of that persona. His custom Pagani Zonda 760 LH isn't just rare, it's literally one of a kind. Built specifically for him, this Zonda pushes boundaries both in engineering and design. Finished in a deep purple carbon fiber weave, it stands out even among Pagani's already outrageous lineup. The interior? Finished in purple leather with matching trim, another personal touch that Hamilton requested himself. Under the hood, it's powered by a 7.3-liter naturally aspirated AMG V12, producing 760 horsepower. It's loud, raw, wild. And Lewis made a specific request. It had to come with a manual gearbox, even though Pagani had largely moved on to paddles by then. That's how much he wanted to feel the car, not just drive it. Pagani actually gave this Zonda his initials, LH, and promised never to make another one like it. That's how seriously they took this commission. But what's interesting is Lewis's relationship with the car itself. In interviews, he's said it doesn't handle particularly well, and that he rarely drives it. Yet he's never sold it either. That says a lot. Maybe it's not about practicality, it's about expression, it's art. Tailored for a driver who lives life in the fast lane, but still values individuality above all else. This is a man who regularly shows up to the paddock in vegan leather, vintage jewelry, and perfectly tailored designer fits. His Zonda is just another extension of that. Loud, exclusive, and impossible to miss. Now moving on with a man whose lifestyle has always been about pushing limits, both in and out of the ring. Floyd "Money" Mayweather is undefeated in the boxing world, but his collection of luxury toys might be even more impressive than his fight record. Between his private jets, rare watches, and sprawling mansions, Mayweather is no stranger to extravagance, but his Koenigsegg CCXR Trevita takes things to a different level entirely. This isn't just a rare car, it's nearly mythical. Koenigsegg had originally planned to build 3 Trevitas, but the process of creating its signature shimmering carbon fiber body was so complex, they stopped after just 2. Mayweather owns one of them. That signature sparkle? It's not paint or wrap, it's part of the carbon itself. Koenigsegg developed a special diamond weave finish that reflects light like crushed crystal. The name Trevita actually comes from Swedish for 3 whites, a reference to this exclusive bodywork that took years to perfect. And underneath that sparkle is a twin supercharged 4.8-liter V8 delivering 1,018 horsepower and a top speed over 250 miles per hour. It's breathtakingly fast, but the performance is only half the story. For Floyd, owning a Trevita wasn't about speed. It was about owning something no one else had. He publicly listed the price at $4.8 million and made sure everyone knew it. The car, it's less of a car and more of a trophy. If you're enjoying this peek inside the rarest celebrity rides, hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed. There's a lot more coming your way. Now, if anyone understands the art of turning status into style, it's Kim Kardashian. She doesn't follow trends, she sets them. From reality TV to billion-dollar beauty brands, her influence reaches deep into fashion, tech, and yes, custom cars. Her Rolls-Royce Ghost KK might be the purest example of that influence in motion. Built by Platinum Motorsport in LA, this Ghost isn't about chrome or flash, it's completely murdered out. Every inch from the wheels to the Spirit of Ecstasy is blacked out or custom color matched to a muted gray tone. Even the signature Rolls-Royce grille was reimagined in full satin. Kim wanted it to look futuristic, almost like a concept car. Sleek, minimal, and totally unbranded. No logos, no shine, just pure stealth luxury. What makes it even more interesting is how it fits into her broader aesthetic. Around the time this car was completed, Kim's wardrobe, home, and even her skincare packaging started following this neutral-toned, ultra-clean visual identity. The Ghost became part of her brand, not just transportation, but a rolling piece of design. Inside, it's just as custom. Think champagne leather, ambient lighting, and soft, close everything. The cabin feels more like a high-end showroom than a typical luxury car. Rolls-Royce didn't build this spec. You can't order it from the factory. It was fully reworked post-delivery to match Kim's vision, down to the smallest trim detail. And unlike other celebrity cars that scream for attention, this one whispers and still turns every head. Now moving from minimal to otherworldly, Justin Bieber's not just a pop star, he's a full-blown cultural shapeshifter. From YouTube kid prodigy to global icon, he's always leaned into reinvention. And when it comes to cars, he doesn't just buy rare ones, he builds things no one else even thinks of. Take his Rolls-Royce Wraith Uriel. you wouldn't recognize it as a Wraith, and that's the point. Back in 2016, Justin came across Rolls-Royce's 103EX concept, a futuristic, autonomous showpiece that never made it to production. Most people just admired the photos. Justin asked West Coast Customs, "Can you make this real?" What followed was 2 years of secret work that turned his standard Wraith into something straight out of a sci-fi movie. The body was widened, smoothed, stretched, and those tucked-in wheels, they make it look like it's hovering. Both the front and rear were redesigned to match the 103EX's shape, giving it a completely seamless look. The entire car feels like it's floating, and in a way, it is, hovering somewhere between concept fantasy and road reality. Inside, it still unmistakably rolls, starlight headliner, plush leather, ambient lighting, but the real magic is the exterior. There's no badge, no grille, no clue it was ever a Wraith, just a spaceship on wheels. No other one exists. West Coast Customs only made this one, and while no official price was revealed, with the amount of fabrication involved, it's safe to say it cost upwards of $400,000, if not more. And that name, Uriel, it wasn't a brand choice, it was Justin's idea. Uriel is an archangel, a spiritual nod that ties into Bieber's own faith and personal transformation in recent years. This wasn't about horsepower, it was about identity. For a guy who's lived under the spotlight since 13, it makes sense he'd want a car that doesn't follow anyone else's blueprint. In a world full of copies, it's unmistakably his, unrepeatable, like the man himself. But what happens when a pop star turns into a full-blown engineer? Will.I.Am isn't your average chart topper. He's won Grammys and sold out arenas, but behind the scenes, he's a tech obsessive, a robotics guy, someone determined to bring manufacturing back to Boyle Heights, where he grew up, so when he set out to build a car, it was never going to be just for show. Enter the Will.I.Am Auto Coupe, a one-off built in LA, loosely based on a DeLorean DMC-12, but completely reimagined through sci-fi and hip-hop. This wasn't just a custom build. Will wanted to launch a new American car company. The Will.I.Am motto was his proof of concept. The design, totally transformed. Blocky, armored panels, a huge custom grille, wide, aggressive stance. Some said it looked like a Camaro from the future, others said Batmobile. Either way, it was unapologetically bold. Inside, it kept that energy. White leather, glossy surfaces, and a cockpit that felt like a concept car. And unlike most celeb rides, this one came with a mission. Will used the car to promote STEM education, speaking at schools and tech events, urging kids to think like inventors, not just influencers. He even talked about making more, hoping to create jobs and bring innovation to East LA. That dream didn't take off, but the car remains a rare symbol of what could have been. Even the name, Will.I.Am Auto, was personal. It fused his identity as an artist, innovator, and builder into one bold idea. It's not flashy in the usual sense, and that's exactly why it stands out. Some cars aren't built for speed or flash, they're built for the soul. When Eric Clapton, one of the greatest guitarists ever, asked Ferrari for a one-off build, they didn't hesitate. Not just because he's famous, but because he's a lifelong Ferrari loyalist. His garage holds multiple Maranello gems, but one stands above the rest, the Ferrari SP12 EC, commissioned through Ferrari's ultra-exclusive Special Projects division. This wasn't just a repaint or trim upgrade, it was a heartfelt tribute to Clapton's favorite model, the Ferrari 512BB, which he once owned and adored, but instead of restoring one, he asked Ferrari to reimagine it using modern tech. Underneath, it's built on a Ferrari 458 Italia, but visually, it's pure boxer DNA. Designed by Centro-style Ferrari and Pininfarina, it channels 70s design with squared-off lines, slatted rear panels, and that low, wide vintage stance, but sleeker. Even the exhaust was custom-built to echo the 512BB's throaty growl. Clapton reportedly wanted a V12 like the original, but Ferrari convinced him to keep the 458's V8 for better performance and reliability. Inside, it's unmistakably his. Custom badging, aged leather, and rich trim details. Everything feels personally selected, like a perfectly broken-in Stratocaster. The cost? An estimated $4.7 million. Not for speed, not for flex, but for nostalgia. A design echo of a man who's always chased emotion. First through music, now through machines, then if that's not rock star elegance, what is? Now, from rock royalty to the king of late-night garages, Jay Leno doesn't just collect cars, he curates mechanical history. Jay Leno isn't your typical collector. He doesn't just buy expensive cars, he tracks down the weird, the historic, the impossibly overbuilt, and gives them a second life. His garage, it's basically a museum with horsepower, and nothing in it turns heads quite like the Blastoline Special, also known as the tank car. And yes, that name isn't a metaphor. Built by artist and fabricator Randy Grubb, this 19.5-foot-long monster is powered by an actual patent M47 tank engine. 29-liter V12 beast originally built for military use. That's over 1,600 pound-feet of torque, enough to tow buildings. Jay bought it in the early 2000s, then had it completely re-engineered to make it road legal. And yes, it's fully street legal. The tank car's design is just as wild as its engine. Polished aluminum body, exposed mechanicals, and that impossibly long front hood. It looks like something from a diesel punk comic, but it's very real, and it runs. Jay had the transmission and rear end completely rebuilt to handle the insane torque. He even added fuel injection, upgraded the cooling system, and refined the suspension just enough to keep it from feeling like a rolling science experiment. What's crazy is how calm he is when he drives it. He's taken it on LA highways, casually cruising in what amounts to a street-legal locomotive while getting stopped at every light by stunned drivers. For Jay, this wasn't about luxury or rarity, it was about preserving mechanical madness. The original Blastoline tank car was built as a showpiece, but Jay's version? It became a rolling tribute to engineering extremes. You won't find another one like it, and honestly, no one else could even register it. Only Jay Leno would look at a tank engine and think, yeah, I should put that in something I can take to dinner. These weren't just cars, they were extensions of identity. From bulletproof Pope mobiles to diamond-coated hypercars, each one told its own story. Which build surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. More insane machines are coming soon.